The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Talk like Marlene Dietrich, and you dance like Zizi Jeanmaire. Your clothes are all made by Balmain, and there's diamonds and pearls in your hair. Yes, there are. You live in a fancy apartment off the Boulevard Saint-Michel, where you keep your Rolling Stones records and a friend of Sacha Distel, yes you do. But where do you go to, my lovely?
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is Chrissie Blaze, and Chrissie is an international speaker and author of 8 published books. She is a regular media guest and has conducted lectures and workshops at conferences and expos in the U.S. and the United Kingdom on subjects from astrology to spiritual healing to UFOs. She and her husband Gary were regular keynote speakers on Directed Intention and prayer at Lynn McTaggart's Living the Field conferences in London for several years, alongside frontier scientists in quantum physics. They were also invited by Marianne Williamson to conduct a spiritual event in Royal Oak, Michigan, where they now live, having moved there in 2008 from Los Angeles, California. Chrissie is a professional astrologer, and she's qualified at the Faculty of Astrological Studies, London, in the early 1980s. She is also qualified as a lecturer with credentials from the University of London, England, and was certified as a healing instructor with the State Board of California. Joining me now is Chrissie Blaze, and Chrissie, always great having you back on the X-Zone. How are you, my friend?
Oh, very well, thank you, Rob. Thanks so much for having me back.
It's always great talking to you, Chrissie. You know, things change in this world of ours, but one thing that is constant is people's interest in what you and I talk about all the time. In fact, more and more people are showing greater interest in astrology, greater interest in spiritual healing, greater interest in New Age topics, greater interest in UFOs than ever before in this planet's history. How does that make you feel, being one of the first people that was out there talking and telling the people this?
Yeah, it's a great thing, and you're so right there, Rob. I mean, it's so true. I was speaking last week to a group of holistic doctors, actually, and psychiatrists about UFOs, and as usual, I was kind of leading up to it with talking of sightings and proofs of sightings and various things. And they stopped me and they said, you know what, we believe that. We believe that extraterrestrials are on Earth. We believe in contacts. We want to know about, much more in-depth why they're here. So things have really moved because 10, 20 years ago, you would have had to build it up and state your case and really kind of prove it. So you're absolutely right.
Chrissie, are we any closer to understanding the reason why these beings from another planet, another dimension, or another universe are actually coming to this planet?
Well, I think if we look at all the signs, we can see that they're here for compassionate, helpful reasons. The fact that they have contacted various world leaders throughout our history, and offered things like methods to heal all disease, advanced technology, and so on. And the fact that they've been seen, and only recently, as you know, reported in the media about over nuclear power plants have been known to actually disarm nuclear weapons, and the fact that they have come and taught, and as I know firsthand, having worked with one of the genuine contactees, Dr. King, for many years, they have given bodies of teachings and messages which are helpful, which are compassionate, which offer us a solution. So you can put all these together and come to the conclusion that they are here to help mankind. They're here for compassionate reasons.
Chrissie, stand by. You and I have to take our first 2-minute break. Exo Nation, Chrissie Blaze is our special guest. www.chrissieblaze.com and www.deeperintolove.com. And Chrissie and I will be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as the X Zone continues. We're right here from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away. With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stein, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com. Named one of the world's greatest psychics, Elizabeth Joyce is now giving readings worldwide via Skype. Elizabeth Joyce is recognized for her clairvoyant ability to help find missing persons, her analysis of dreams, past life regression work, mediumship, and her accurate predictions. Elizabeth has been a frequent guest on the X Zone radio show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, now for several years. For an appointment with Elizabeth Joyce, call 201-934-8986 or Skype at elizabeth.joyce. And for more information, you can always visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, aguidinglight, spelled lite.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
Being beat up and battered around, being sent up and I've been shot down. You're the best thing that I've ever found. Handle me with care. Reputation's changeable, situation's tolerable, but baby you're adorable. Handle me with care. I'm so tired of being lonely. I still have some love to give. Won't you show me that you really...
And welcome back, everyone. Chrissie Blaze is my special guest this hour. And Chrissie, do you think that by Bob Salas coming out at the press club in Washington, D.C., where he talked about the events that were happening at nuclear weapons sites as well as over nuclear facilities in the United States, that more people caught it this time than they did the last time that he did it?
Well, I think so. I think it had more coverage in mainstream media, didn't it, Rob? You'd know better than I did. But I saw it on Fox News and CNN, and that really wasn't the case previously, was it?
Not really. Before it was just kind of, oh yeah, here we go again, another wacko out there. But like you pointed out, more and more mainstream media seem to pay attention to it this time.
Now, why do you think that is, Rob? I wanted to ask you that because why do you think mainstream are covering it more?
Well, I think that because of the interest in the populace, number one. Number two, the fact that this time when he did it, I believe that the war on terrorism as well as the nuclear capability of certain countries in the Middle East certainly were there to raise the awareness of the people. And there seemed to be a lot of different elements that were involved in the news of the day that weren't present the last time. And I think all these factors certainly had their part to play in the amount of media coverage that they did receive.
Well, that's very interesting. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I know you've been covering these things for decades, but it's great when you see things starting to break in the mainstream, isn't it?
It certainly is, Chrissie. It's great to see the mainstream media looking at it. However, even all these years that I've been covering this topic and many other topics, still, I'm still waiting to see that smoking gun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's up to people to kind of take it a step further, don't you? It's like, at the moment it's intellectual stimulation, but people take it a step further by talking about your show, by studying it, and really taking that step, I think, is important.
If the information is out there, I'd love for the people to come forward with it. The proof, the undeniable proof that so many people believe is out there. And with today's technology, Chrissie, and with the availability of cameras in every cell phone and so on and so forth, you'd think that the pictures would be able to be taken to prove that these are real. And still, I can't see any of these pictures. I can't see any evidence that to me says, you know what, here's the smoking gun.
Yeah, I can tell you a story. You can believe it or not, but it's true. And something that is proof, undeniable proof. That is, Dr. George King, who I have been a student of for many, many years, was, I believe, a genuine contactee, one of the few that began in the 50s, when there were a few around, Dan Fry and various other people. But George King was one, and in the 1980s, it was during the time of Chernobyl, and I can't remember, I think it was 1986, wasn't it, Chernobyl?
Something like that, yeah.
He was traveling with a colleague of mine, Dr. Richard Lawrence, who's also been on your show.
Yes.
And they were staying in a hotel somewhere, I can't remember where, and he was contacted by extraterrestrial intelligences, and he was told that something very dire, devastating was about to happen in Russia, and he was given the